Daniel in an undisclosed location. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com in a very disclosed location. But today I'm going to cut Transitions Signature 7 gray lenses with Crizal Alize for your RayBan 6335 color 2503 in the 54 eye size. Now I say undisclosed location because Daniel is a member of the armed services serving our wonderful country overseas, and I just do not disclose the location of anyone doing that, but I will disclose that he's in a pretty good place. There's a whole lot worse places that he could be doing his service in, but he's got a good one. Good for him. Good for everything he does. And let me go ahead and get to work and do my thing. This is the hard shell RayBan case that it comes in. Your RayBan frame. This is a nylon grooved string mount frame. They give you an extra little string that I'll include in there, and of course your RayBan cleaning cloth. Put that back in there. This one comes with 2 sleeves on the temples to protect the temples during shipping, and I'm gonna put that on there when I ship to you. And this is the RayBan 6335 color 2503, which is the matte black in the 54 eye size. It also comes in a 56. It also comes in a few other colors, but he chose the matte black. So let me begin. I'm going to use this device because there's no frame to trace. I'm going to trace one of the lenses. So I'm going to use this. I raise my head up so I can see the white background. I need to put a black dot on a black graph, and with the black poster there, it makes it a little bit tougher. So I'm going to put a dot on this lens, a dot on this lens, and if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Take the lens out, put that in there. I'll need this little tool, this little device. This is just like the double-sided adhesive stickers I use, but the smaller ones. So I'm going to tear the paper away to make the black side sticky. Use that wall. The reason why I put 2 dots, there's a line on the back of this device, and I'm going to use this to line everything up perfectly to have those 2 dots on the same line, and press that on there. Place this into the jig. Now I need to program this shape into the computer, so years from now, should you ever need new lenses for this frame, I can pull it up and mail them right to you. Your Secret Agent 1801, and when I mail them to you, you can use this tool, come on in there, that little strap to mount the lenses, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But we're going to trace just the right lens and hit start. It's going to ask me the bridge width, which is 17, check, and a little stylus is going to pop up and go around and trace the outside of the right lens. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account dollars, I will get you an itemized receipt with the proper V codes that you can file for reimbursement. So we're going to move that onto the next screen. Pupillary distance is 68/34 for each eye. The computer starts at 32.5, so I'm going to tap the plus button until we get there. I want to raise the optical center up 2 millimeters to 20. I'm going to go 2 above to 20. Now your lens is the same power on both eyes, -50, -75, so it doesn't matter which one I use. I do want to go ahead and make sure that is zeroed out. Yes, put the power drum on -50. The axis for the first eye is 79. Turn the axis wheel to 79. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Take the laminate off the front of the lens. Put the lens in. Rotate until the spherical component part of the prescription comes into view first. That's the -50. We're going to check the Astigmatism Correction of -75. And the total power adds up on the lensometer wheel, which I'll allude to a little bit later. We're going to put 3 dots on there. And this is the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the lens that ain't right. -50, -75 at 81, -50, -75. We only have to go 2 degrees over to 81. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve, and actually, hang on. Before I forget, let me mark this. I always like to do this. -50, -75. Of course, these are the Airwear Transition 7 gray lenses with Crizal Alize. And This is the right lens. Now we can do the same thing for the left. Minus 50, minus 75 at 81. Still on minus 50 power. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Take the laminate off the front of the lens. It comes with a laminate on the lens so that when the lens is shipped, nothing gets rubbed against there during shipping. So we're going to put that in there. Move that out of the way. Rotate the lens till the spherical component comes into view first, which is the minus 50. Check the astigmatism correction. Make sure everything is lined up perfectly. Put 3 dots on the lenses. Mark this one L. And if you missed any of that, you can just hit rewind. Oh, you didn't see that coming. So, minus 50, minus 75, transition signature 7 gray with Crizal Alize. And this is the left lens. And again, if you guys missed any of that, hit fast forward because I'm going to say it. Let me recap. So, the reason why I underlined the bottom power, this could be written in plus cylinder or minus cylinder. But I work in minus cylinder, so that's why I recorded that. So, this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while they are cutting. So I need a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got 2 here. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to line one up on the first block, throw that on the platform, do the same thing now for the second one. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up the magnet. The reason why I put the 3 dots on there tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. So with those 3 dots, get everything lined up. The blue crosses the geometric center of the frame. Your eye is just above that and inset. I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is lined up perfectly. Check to make sure the lens is large enough, and it is. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet. Find the left lens. Put it on there. I do not have to change the pupillary distance. That has mirrored the right, same as the optical center height. Get everything lined up exactly where it should be. And hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the left lens. So this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. It's going to do all the work while I run my mouth. That's fair. And I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home. And you won't need this guy with the 2 thumbs and the bad jokes to do it for you. You'll just have to have your own pen so you can recap. So, but the actual cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center is going to flatten everything out. And actually, let's do something here. There is a blade that's going to cut the groove into the lens. And so I always like to try and clean that off ahead of time. This is optical sawdust, the Schwarf from the safety bevel wheel that you will get. I'm going to actually do both sides of yours. Let me clean off the drill bit. I used that today on some high index lenses. Throw that away in the trash. We can come back. Although I do need to go ahead and wake up the computer, in the sense that I'm still on the drill, the silhouette drill mount that I did. So we're going to wake it up. Job ID 1801. 1801. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that, but we're going to stick with polycarbonate. If this were metal frame or plastic, that would be the bevel or the silhouette drill mount, which would be flat around the edges. But these are semi-rimless, so this is why it's going to cut a groove into it. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens, but I am going to put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens, as well as one on the rear. So now the magnet's going to do its job twice. I'm going to press the sticker on there firmly. I'm going to line up the magnet into the chuck, or by now, you know I like to call it the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Hit the green start button, the door closes, the clamp shuts, the lens will be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. As you see, as it's tracing the shape of the right lens. Really got to work on this. Let me see if, I'm going to grab a rubber band here. I'm going to see if I can tighten that strap to keep this thing from sliding while I'm working. I really need a new headband. This one has shown its age over the years. Beginning to show its age. Make a little ponytail back there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Stay on top of my head. But the light you see flickering in the background is water to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex lenses cut wet, meaning the water sprays onto the lens during the duration of the cutting cycle. However, polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where water will only spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds. So as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses, the same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and from flying debris. Now, these are not safety glasses. It's just the same lens material that active duty combat soldiers wear in combat situations. It also has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's rays can do to your skin. Well, your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so this is permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. So it's going around again, tracing the thickness of the lens at every point to know where to cut the bevel into the lens. It's actually going to go down and still flatten the lens a little bit more. Make sure it's perfectly smooth before it cuts it with a blade. That doesn't make any sense. But you also got the Transitions Gray, which I'll demonstrate later, but you also upgraded to the Crizal Alize. Now, Crizal is 3 treatments in one. The first treatment is it reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain. But from street lights, stoplights, oncoming headlights, computer screens, fluorescent lights, all of that. Now the second feature goes by the initials ARC, which stands for anti-reflective coating, so it reduces reflections. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, so it makes for much better eye contact. Or if someone takes a picture with a flash, you're less likely to see the flash in the lens. The third feature that I like is it comes with the hardest scratch coating of any lens. The machine that applies the Crizal anti-glare costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto the lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. So there is that spinning disc, the blade that is going around, cutting a 6/10 of a millimeter groove into the lens and 6/10 of a millimeter wide. That is the diameter of this 20-pound monofilament that's holding the lens into place. So this should fit just into that groove that's being cut. Now, if there's any RayBan frames out there you want, I don't have listed on the website, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button and I'll check on the price and availability for you and then get back in touch with you. I can't remember if this was on the website or not, but Daniel reached out to me. In fact, he was referred to by one of his service members who had gotten a few pair from me over the years, which is a great compliment. Anytime you've been so happy that you get referrals, Daniel, I will pass that along. If you're happy with the service you get from me, please refer any of your friends or family members to me, and I'll be more than happy to take good care of them as well. I'm a small independent optician, and that's the most flattering comment you can get, is that you want to refer me to your friends and family. That means you must be doing something right. It means I must be doing something right. So a little lever has come out. At the end of that lever is a spinning disc. That's what's applying the safety bevel, and essentially it's a very fine grit sandpaper that's going to smooth out the front of the lens, the convex surface, as well as the concave surface of the lens, so that everything is nice and smooth around the edges and is semi-rimless. In a full metal or plastic frame, I only safety bevel the rear of the lens and not the front. I do both in this case. Of course, you see water spraying onto the lens. This tells me it's in the last of the cycle. In just a moment, I will open this door with my mind. Are you ready? How'd you like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I just got to stare at it for a couple hours and then it'll melt. The only thing I can't do is come up with new jokes. So if you can think of a funny joke for me to say on the air, write it down on a $100 bill and mail it to me, and I'll read it on the air and I'll give you credit. You don't even have to include your name. I'll recognize your handwriting and make sure you get credit for that joke. So I'm going to flip that over to L, press that on there firmly, place the magnet into the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, or tonight I will call it the Daniel. A little bit of optical sawdust. We'll just throw that down in there. Hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, the lens will be traced by the 2 white styluses again, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see it's ground tracing the shape. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once is measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the groove into the lens for the best cosmetic look possible. So while that's cutting, I'm going to continue to work on the right lens. We can take the block off. It is no longer needed. Dry that off, my hand-approved drying method. Throw that in there. Add to my sticker collection. Come down here and use my thumbnail to clean all the optical sawdust off of the lens, including out of the middle. Let me use that to help with that. And then I'll go ahead and leave that out. Once it's all off your lens, I collect it neatly into one pile on the counter, and then I wipe it on the floor. Because who has time to walk over there to that trash can? I got work to do. So I'm going to go ahead. So, Daniel, years from now, should you ever need new lenses, what you do is, everyone knows there's a groove in the bottom. You have a groove in the top. Everyone knows there's a string at the bottom. You have another one inserted into your frame. So that's going to go into the groove at the top of the lens. You have this string is one piece. There's 2 holes on each side. And essentially you send it through, I can't tell what you guys are seeing through here, but you send it through the bottom hole, the string, fold it over and put it in the top one, and it's the tension that's on there. So make sure that the lens, you kind of get that, tuck it in the tip of that string right there. Do the same thing on the bottom side. Once the lens is seated in the top of the frame, you use the strap. Now I have this one that's folded in half. I grab it by the outside corner. The reason why it's folded in half is that now I grip both sides and I've got a firm grip on there. I start at the outside corner, get it lined up in the groove, move towards the nasal area of the lens. When you hear the snap, it's in there. I put a finger on top of the string and I slide that out. We're going to come back down here to the lensometer, spin the axis wheel back to 79, put it in. Of course, I've wiped the pupillary distance off the frame, but I can check that. But I'm getting minus 50. I never had to turn the power drum because it's the same power on both, but minus 50 is exactly halfway between 0 and 1. That's because you are nearsighted. With your glasses off, everything is much too large. So you need 2 steps of minification. That's why your lenses have a minus sign. You're in the second rung of a ladder. Once everything is the correct size, you have 3 steps of astigmatic correction. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike with the letters P and F. So let's check the second curve on your lens. Essentially, you have 2 steps here, another 3 steps here, which is steeper. Starting at minus 50, it's another 3 steps of curvature, and if all goes well, we'll end up at minus 1 1/4. 1 tick mark past 1, going towards 2 in the red. Reds are the minuses. Black is plus, magnification. Red is minus, minification. So, your left eye exactly the same power. Minus 50, minus 75. So this first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number, the axis, just tells me where to rotate the lens to make everything nice and crisp. It's those 2 curves lined up just perfectly. So this is actually very rare. You're almost identical in both eyes. The axis for the right eye is 79. A straight line is 0 to 90 to 180. We're going to stop just shy of the 90th meridian at about 71. For the left eye, we're going to go 2 degrees over and it'll be 81. Again, these first 2 numbers are real values. This number could be anywhere from 0 to 180, so it's actually quite rare that you're so close on both of the lenses. Now the frame sells for $168, complete with one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses. You upgraded to the Transitions Gray, which was $69.99, and then you also want a Crizal Alize, which is an additional $79.99. There's also a Crizal Avance available with Transitions Gray, and that's $99.99. But this time you went with the Crizal Alize for $79.99 for a total of $317.98 tax-free. The reason why I say tax-free, oh, by the way, let me put the pupillary distance back on the lens. I'm going to put that dot right there so I can measure later on. I moved it off with my thumb while I was working, but I'll put that back on there so you guys can see. But everything used to be tax-free on the internet, but no longer. However, I am in North Carolina. North Carolina considers eyeglasses a medical device, so there is no tax on medical devices in my home state of North Kakalaki. So you do not have to pay tax on any of the glasses you get from me. Any other vendor on the internet buying prescription from? Yes, outside of North Carolina. Hit that. We're going to open that up, dry everything off. Let's go ahead and take this block off, pull the sticker away, use my hand-approved drying method again, add that sticker to the sticker collection. We're going to run my thumbnail around. My wife hates it when I drop stuff on the floor on camera, so honey, this one's for you. I'm going to stand over the trash can, use my thumbnail to get all the optical sawdust off the edge of the lens that the water did not get off. Usually you do get those on the semi-rimless. The metals and plastic bevel seems to clean up better in the car wash, in the lens wash. Don't worry, this toothbrush has never been in my mouth. I just won't tell you what it has been in. I'm just kidding. It's been in this cup its whole life, except for when it's laid on the counter just now or when I'm doing that. So, to take the lens out, I have the side I'm working on closest to me. I'm not reaching across. I grab the lens with both hands. Actually closer to this corner at the nasal area. My finger is going to go this way. I'm going to try and create separation. As I pull on the frame this way, I'm going to push down with my thumb with the right lens, and out comes the lens. Now to put the new lens in, I'm going to rotate the frame upwards. Actually, I'm going to do it right hand. This time I can. Again, we're going to tuck the string in at the nasal area in that groove. Do the same thing now for the temporal portion of the lens. Grab the strap on the string. Start at the outside corner, move my way towards the nose. When you hear the snap, it's in there. Slide that back to the middle, put my finger on the string, slide out, voila. Put the strap back where it belongs. Turn the axis wheel to 81. Make sure that is seated in there. Put the lens in, find the optical center of the lens, check the power. I'm getting -50. Check your astigmatism correction. We end up at -1 1/4. Again, how did I get there? Remember high school algebra where you add two like signs together? Yeah, don't worry, nobody remembers that. What's the hypotenuse of the, yeah, see, I can't even remember, trying to be funny. My witty well ran dry. So, but I'll use today's term. Someone borrowed 50 cents from you and then they borrowed another 75 cents. They would owe you $1.25. That's where we're at, 125 in the red. Let me put the pupillary distance back on there. Let me darken that so you can see that at home or in the car, driving down the road, shaving, looking at YouTube on your cell phone. Your pupillary distance is 68. So I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb on the right lens, and we hold it up to the left lens. We're getting 68 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Yes, I dropped my red PD stick into a place that I can't get my hand into, so I've got to get them to mail me some more red ones. For now, I've got to use the blue. So that is cut perfectly. Actually, let me make sure that lens is seated in there perfectly. There we go. Push that in there nicely. There we go. So, this is the portion of every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no exception. I'm part of that 80%, and I'll show you in just a moment. But I forget, because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. The other interesting statistic, apart from 80% of people having one ear higher than the other, I forget the percentage that have one ear closer in than the other. And the reason for that, I was told by the old timer I apprenticed with years ago, was that he used to say that the birthing process is tough for all involved, not just mom. So, but let me clean these up. By the way, I send out a selfie request in every package. I would love to have your 2 pictures, one with them clear, one with them dark. If you don't mind, your team member sent me a picture of him when he was hiking with his baby at a waterfall. That was amazing. I would love to have your picture too, or the 2 of you. If you guys can do that, that'd be awesome. But I also send out cleaning instructions, not only on your frame and lenses, but instructions on how to care for your RayBan cleaning cloth, a premium microfiber cleaning cloth that I provide, and your Crizal cleaning cloth, as well as your case. So all of those will last you for years. No other seller on the internet does that, I am told. But now that it's clean, let me go ahead. And by the way, I field test and field strip every cleaning cloth. So when you get these in the mail and you see the wrinkle in there, you know that it works. You can't say that you can't clean your lenses with them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, when I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. For those of you keeping score at home, I am wearing the BMW 6045 in color 50, which is a blue tortoise. Sorry, I was watching a Ben Stiller movie the other night, getting a little carried away. All right, people, remember to yell out 50. And for those of you who don't know what that means, don't ask. Just go to your grave not knowing what 50 means. So let me put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing. Because I also can't hear when I have my glasses off. I can't taste food, and I can't sleep with my glasses on. I do take them off for that. So I press down. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. And including that way, check the tension on the hinge. If I needed to tighten, if one was looser than the other, I could either loosen the tighter side or tighten the looser side so they'd be matching. So this is what your lenses look like the first time before they have been activated. I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. Now, as you can see, all transition lenses, I gotta hit the button better. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks they're exposed to the sun. Now, Daniel and everyone else listening, this is important. Pay attention. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks they're exposed to the sun. The only time the transition signature 7 lenses or 8 will not work, 8 come out tomorrow, by the way, is when you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that would cause your dashboard to crack from sitting in the sun all day, and that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, if they're also temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. So, this is the first time they've been activated. Don't worry, Daniel, they're going to keep getting darker and darker. Come on, we talked about that, don't you remember? So, again, thanks for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more crazy videos and more styles of frames coming, more lens styles as well. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com. On Twitter as freerxlenses. You can, if you have any questions, you can email me directly at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or simply click the contact me button on the website. And you can also leave a question or comment in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to respond back to that. So Daniel, serving our country proudly, thank you so much for the purchase of the RayBan 6335 color 2503 in the 54 eye size with transitions gray lenses with Crizal Alize, and everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.